Include all the essential terms in your paper and use keywords that closely relate to the content of your paper. Third, be specific and concise, avoiding insignificant words. Next is to ensure that the number of words doesn't exceed 15 words. Lastly, avoid any jargon or abbreviations.
Research culture encompasses the behaviors, values, expectations, attitudes, and norms of our research communities. It influences researchers' career, paths, and determines the way the research is connected and communicated. 7 ways to promote better research culture. First, small steps can make a big difference. Second, establishing support systems can boost morale and enhance a positive research. Third, ensure everyone is on the same page. Fourth, research culture cafes are an excellent way to share best practice. Fifth, organization, department, and team leaders leading by example in promoting an excellent research culture. Sixth, discuss training gaps for all team members. And lastly, embedded research culture at an institutional level.
My insights about the values of research. Research develops our skill in investigating, analyzing, critical thinking, and synthesizing to produce an output. Research involves a scientific method which uses logical and systematic procedure for the verification of previous or existing knowledge to answer the problems and to apply in practical life. By reading and reviewing related literature and studies, our knowledge will grow and increase. Information to include in your poster to promote the values of research. First, explain the meaning of the findings and why they are significant. Second, explain any new understanding or insight you have gained after you have taken the findings into consideration. Third, highlight the importance of your research and how it may be able to contribute to society. Lastly, Address the positive and negative aspect of your research.
Some reminders for standard etiquette for online Zoom events. Number one, everyone is advised to keep their cameras and microphones off unless given a chance to speak. Number two, the chat box is purely for questions and inquiries. Messages that contain profanity, harassment, abuse, and other topics not related to the presented topics will be sanctioned. Recording the session without consent is prohibited. This includes video recording any participants separately using mobile phones or other recording devices. Those who will be caught doing so will be sanctioned. Everyone is encouraged to listen and absorb the discussion. Okay, welcome everyone. This is the Technical English and Business Technical Writing culminating activity. From vision to transition, demystifying the culture of research. This event wouldn't have been possible without the technical writing team. Let us give a warm round of virtual applause to the chairperson of the event, Dr. Elisa Casella. And of course, the technical and documentation team, Ms. Patty Figueroa and Mr. TJ Perfecto. Okay, to start us off, so let us all rise for the Philippine National Anthem.
Bayang matinig, kasiyahan, alak ng puso sa tipoy buhay. Lupang hinigang, bulan ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di mo masisiyo. Sa nagkakatulo, sa simulat, sa dalit ng mga, ang labang tula at awit sa pagkayang ang isang ng matawang ko'y tagumpay na nalilig. Ang ituwing matawang na kailan ang may nagtilig. Luwan ang araw na patay ang sila ay naging sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na may makakit ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay, let us all remember that we are in the loving presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Dear Lord, teach me the things that are important, to be generous with your gifts, compassionate to those who have less, just in the face of unfair circumstances.
True when the world's values contradict my own. Gracious when things don't go my way, and magnanimous when they do.
May nothing else matter except faith in your goodness, my neighbors and mine.
Hope that things can get better, and charity that always sets things right.
May your special love for the poor, the mark of my uniquely Vincentian education, be the work I excel in, the standard I constantly refer to, and my courage when I meet you someday.
Amen. O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to thee.
Saint Vincent de Paul,
Pray for us.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, for our opening remarks, may we be graced by the words of wisdom by our very own Dean Gliceria Luna, the Dean of the College of Education and Liberal Arts.
Good afternoon once again to everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to open your second activity this afternoon. And I am very happy because you are now into the research agenda, and I would be very happy to, of course, know, and in the future we will be considering possible papers, especially from you, our dear students, with the help of your able teachers and of course your research coordinators. And this afternoon, as in as much as you are now into research, I would just like to, of course, make us understand that here at Adamson University, we have what we call our 5-point research agenda. And in the 5-point research agenda, of course, we have, for example, one, we have productivity and competitiveness in business program, advancement of science and technology, integrative development approaches in education, social science, humanities, and communication programs, where I believe we are here supposedly. And of course, community health effective delivery of healthcare program and environmental conservation and preservation programs. So out of this 5-point agenda of research by Adamson University, it is now supposedly a, how do you call that? This is now considered one of the very important area wherein Adamson has to excel. If you try to remember, we were able to qualify in the Quad Corelli rankings. However, our president told us that one of our challenge here, and especially a serious challenge, is on the area of research. And so therefore, we have to consider research, especially the development of papers coming from you, from the students, then to our faculty members and all the stakeholders of Adamson University. And so this endeavor or this afternoon's activity is a very good chance for you and for especially for those who have the desire and who has the actually the know-how of doing research, that we really have to answer the call of paper presentation as much as not only a requirement in your course, but because also that is now the essence of development and global competitiveness at this time. All progress and development in maybe in business, in science and technology, and everything that we do must be scientifically supposedly proven, or it should be a result of a scientific study. And so research cannot just be put aside. It must be one of the most important area that an academe like Adamson University has to consider. That's why I am very happy and I congratulate especially the department, of course, with Dr. Dapat and all the faculty members of the languages department for this kind of activity that you are always doing. This is always commendable and we hope that it will continue on. And specifically because we are being challenged not only by the president, but even considering our rank and our stand beside and among universities, research should always, research is always one of the area wherein the ranking is being affected. And Adamson, for one, we need to also do our part. We have a lot of, how do you call that? We have to consider research in our university. Sad to note, of course, that in as much as especially our teachers are given full load and at times they do not have the time to go for research. Also with students, with the number of subjects or classes that you have to attend to, at times research is put aside. But we cannot already let it be that way. We are being mandated by our president that we have to consider research. And for all you know, all colleges and departments and especially our faculty members and our students are all called for to answer this challenge. And with this in mind, let us awaken the desire to do some works, especially on research. And as I have said, in the 5-point agenda of research agenda of Adamson University, I was looking at the third point, which is on integrative development approaches in education, social sciences, humanities, and community programs. I mean, communication programs. But I guess our students come from different programs and colleges. I know that you are into different your course will ask you of a certain kind of research. Like for example, if you are in IT, then you could be into the technology program agenda. If you are in BA, then you will be in business and so on. But of course, we need really to convince ourselves. We need to inspire ourselves to really accept that research should be and will always be part of our academic endeavor. So I am challenging each one of you. Let us put our efforts together, cooperate with your teachers, and especially among yourselves to come up with a research that we can also be able to present not only to your class, not only at Adamson, but of course, we look forward to you presenting internationally. And we put in mind that when Adamson would go into research, they also put in mind the call of research in helping, especially the poor. So we have that in mind. We try to do research because we are thinking that when we do this kind of research, then the result will be of help, especially to the poor. Because that is how we are as Vincentians, how we are as Adamsonians. So thank you very much to all the faculty members who are doing so much in supporting and in helping our students. And for you, our dear students, get the guide and the advice of your teachers in doing your paper. And we will be very, very happy. And I know we will be very supportive if papers will qualify not only locally but internationally. So please do enjoy this afternoon's activities. Learn much from your speakers, and after learning, try to do it. Thank you very much and enjoy your activity.
Okay, thank you very much, Dean Lunag. Let us give Dean Lunag a warm round of virtual applause using the applause icon. And as we begin our research forum, we would love to hear from different professionals in the field of research. Okay, so our first speaker is currently the high school principal of Colea Santo Domingo, the chairperson for academic affairs, Golden Sunbeams Christian School. He is a writer, seminar director, and private schools accreditation consultant. He has served as a lecturer and paper presenter in various local and international conferences. He is a recipient of numerous national and global awards as an educator and as a school head. In 2021, he represented the Philippines as a plenary speaker in the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, together with the speakers from 24 different countries. In the same year, he was chosen as one of the ambassadors for human rights and peace by various international organizations. He is the Director of Media and Information of Leadership in Education Academy and Development, or Maharlika Arrio, an honorary fellow of Access to Human Rights International and an academic fellow of Gawad Ibarra and Leaders Autonomy International. Let us give a warm round of virtual applause to Dr. Archie M. Dizon.
All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sir TG, for that very generous introduction. Before I start, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Department of Languages of Adamson University for the invitation, particularly to Dr. Dapat and to my ever favorite Dr. Nelisa Casella. Thank you for having me here this afternoon. No, whenever I receive an invitation from Dr. Casella, parang I have no right to say no, no. So because she's actually one of my inspirations when it comes to research, when it comes to education and speakership. When I first met her in St. Paul University, that was 2015, I think, and it's now 2021. So I would like to congratulate the entire team, the committee of this research forum, for coming up with such a program like this. No, it's very empowering I'm sure that you'll find yourself empowered at the end of this research forum, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga universities merong research forum, at hindi lahat ng mga universities ay gearing towards a culture of research, no? So congratulations to the entire team. I wish to share something with you this afternoon na sana ay maging inspirasyon sa inyo. I'll take it from my personal experience as both an educator and as a school head, and also bilang estudyante noon, no? Kasi all right, please allow me to present my screen. Right. By the way, am I audible? Can I be heard clearly? Okay. Just to share, when I was in college, just like our audience for this afternoon, I was also afraid of research. No, na parang pag sinabing research, thesis, and all, no, parang unang pumapasok sa isip, unang nararamdaman ng mga bata, ng mga estudyante, takot, no, sa katotohanan na merong hindi gumagraduate because of research, no? Merong hindi napupursue yung kanilang dream course, dream profession because they failed to pass, of course, the research subject. No, but you know what? It's something that we have to look after as an opportunity. No, because research can bring you to greater heights. No, it can even bring you, no, sa iba't ibang bansa, iba't ibang opportunities in life. No, not only not only not only in your career as a student, no, lalo na pa nagtrabaho na kayo, magraran ng sarili nyong business, no? And actually, I really love the theme of this research forum. Sabi ko nga kay Dr. Casella, I love the theme, no? Kung sino man po nakaisip nitong theme na to, saludo ako dun sa mga tao na yon. So from vision to transition, demystifying the culture of research. There is an urgency in the air. It's high time to embrace or to establish a culture of research, no, because of the emerging global trends, no, na in order for us to cope with what's going on in the society, in the world, we have to establish a culture of research. We have to embrace research. Research is life, research is everything. Let me take it from Canfield. According to him, change is inevitable in life. It's bound to happen. You can either resist it and potentially get run over by it, or you can choose to cooperate with it, adapt to it, and learn how to benefit from it. When you embrace change, you'll begin to see it as an opportunity for growth. Maraming tao takot sa pagbabago. Maraming tao takot sa kung ano mangyayari sa kinabukasan, especially that we are in the time of pandemic. It's a global crisis. Everything is uncertain, no? But for people na acquainted sa research, no, they see new ways, new possibilities of doing things. Kaya mas madali para sa kanilang makakope sa mga nangyayari. Nalulungkot ako sa tuwing makakarinig ako ngayon ng mga tao na ang lagi nilang dahilan ay ang pandemic. Na I can't do this because of the pandemic. I failed to do this because of the pandemic. Pang ilang taon na ba na may pandemic, no? So kailangan mag-move on na tayo doon, no? And one thing that can actually help us, no, to move forward is research, no? With research, being acquainted with it, no, we'll find ourselves calm and confident as well, no? sa gitna ng pandemya, sa gitna ng crisis, no? We are also we are already in the fourth IR, or in the fourth industrial revolution. When we talk about fourth IR, no, it's the convergence and complementarity of emerging technology domains. No, napakalaki ng role ng research sa fourth IR, or sa fourth industrial revolution. The Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, and all, no, and nanotechnology, biotechnology na yan, kung paano ang isang organism ay magiging instrument for medication, no, it's all because of research. Kaya nga, really, research is life, no, research, but the person who knows how to conduct research, yung acquainted sa research, parang research is life pa nga, no? So I hope na, dear students, you don't take research for granted, not just because you'd like to graduate, you'll do it for the sake of compliance. No, research will bring you to greater heights. No, I became the person that I am today because of research. No, it can bring you to different countries. It would allow you to meet different people. No, if you take research seriously. Right? So I just hope that you don't just take it for compliance. Okay, going back, for IR is marked by blurring of the boundaries between the biological, the physical, and the digital realms. No? Marami nung nagsimula ang pandemic din, maraming natakot. That's just a normal thing. But little by little, kung mapapansin nyo, nababawasan na yung stress, yung takot ng mga tao, lalo na nung nagkaroon na ng vaccine, no? May vaccine, it's because of research, no? It's because of clinical trials, it's because of scientific study. So whatever course you are into right now, know that research is important. May you be an educator, it's important. Because of research, you'll be able to know the different strategies, no, different ways of doing things. No, if you're an engineering student, ganun din, an architecture student, and the likes. Research is important. Now, talking about the crisis that we have right now, no, we are also talking about the new possibilities in the education landscape. No? Dati face-to-face, ngayon virtual, hybrid, no? Lumalabas na rin yung mga augmented reality, o yung AR, yung feature ng classroom, na actually yung iba yun, ginagawa na yung augmented reality na yan, no? We can also hear nano learning, yung mga yan, yung flipped classroom, no? Pero bago i-adapt yan ng isang organization or ng isang institution, academic institution, it has to undergo research. It has to undergo research in a sense that the institution has to carefully study kung ano ba yung appropriate sa institution nila. No? So everything is made possible, no, and visible with research. Etong nangyayari sa atin ngayon, etong research forum na to via Zoom, no? It's an example of an emerging trend in education. Now, before we gather in one place, now we gather virtually because we would like to cope with the whole of the situation, no? Because this is the reality that we have right now. It will lessen all your worries, no? It will even make you feel confident if you know how to conduct research. Lalo na ngayon na nasa fourth IR na tayo, isang click lang, isang type lang, makikita na natin yung gusto nating malaman. But of course, we have to carefully analyze, we have to study, whatever data yung magagather natin, because that's also one of the essence of research, to critically study the data, that you don't just put the data in your paper, but you also consider the credibility of the data. You also have to consider the source, no? So I hope sa mga magpe-present mamaya na consider natin yung mga yon. Why research? Gaya ng sabi natin, kinakatakutan to ng mga bata. But bakit maraming mga tao na gustong-gusto ng research? Bakit maraming mga tao na ang buhay nila ay research? So let's get to know. Research begins when we want to know something. Sabi ng isang philosopher, ang lahat daw ng tao basically ay mapagtanong, because they'd like to understand the world around them, no? Nagsisimula lahat sa tanong, katulad ng research, no? It begins with a question in mind, no? It is concerned with increasing our understanding. Sabi nga, pag ang isang tao daw na pala research, talagang ikinakatalino nitong tao na to, na you don't just give your personal opinion about things, but you do give your comment about it because it is backed up by research. Kaya nga yung mga kaklase natin, 'di ba? Dati na kada sasagot kay teacher, according to ang talino tignan, no? Ang talino ng dating ng mga taong 'yon. But the very essence of that is they don't just want to give their personal opinion about a particular topic or subject, but they studied a particular paper maybe, no, na makakatulong para mas establish nila yung side na pipiliin nila. For example, no, kahit sa debate, 'di ba, na parang it can't be that you'll just give a particular or you'll choose a particular stand ng naisip mo lang or dahil gusto mo lang. No, you conducted a research first. Even sa ngayon, yung mga iboboto natin sa darating na halalan, we don't just vote because that person is popular in our family or in our community. We'll choose that person because we believe na yun yung taong karapat-dapat na maging pangulo ng bansa natin. At tinitingnan natin yung qualifications nila, no? We do research. Okay? Especially sa mundo na punong-puno ng fake news. Napaka-importante ng research. Because I think one of the very essence of research is to support truths, no? And deny yung mga fake news, no? It also provides us with the information and knowledge needed for problem solving and making decisions, no? Nakakatulong para makapag-desisyon tayo ng tama. Just to share, March 12, I think, nung kauna-unahang nagkaroon ng lockdown sa Pilipinas. I think that's also worldwide, no? Nagkaroon ng lockdown. Just to share, yung school na hawak ko ngayon, Golden Sunbeams Christian School, because I have two schools, and then Colegio Santo Domingo. In Golden Sunbeams Christian School that's located in Antipolo City, I was appointed by the Board of Trustees to be the chairperson of the Contingency and Transition Plan. Napakabigat being the chairperson of the Contingency and Transition Plan, because I have to think of ways kung paano mag-ooperate ang school sa gitna ng pandemic. Of course, you have to consider every single aspect of an academic institution, that you don't just consider how education will become deliverable, but you also have to consider the financial aspect of the school, on how we could probably survive sa gitna ng pandemic, lalo na maraming nawala ng trabaho, considering din na maraming mga private schools ang nagsasara because they cannot sustain the operation. But I accepted the challenge. It's all because I know na maraming data ang pwedeng makuha, maraming data ang pwedeng magamit para magpatuloy ang operation ng school. I accepted the challenge. I started to conduct a research. Ano ba yung pwedeng gawin ng eskwelahan para mag-continue yung operation, makasurvive financially. Thank God. I really thank God kasi nag-materialize yung plan. At yung plan na yon, product yon ng research. Product siya ng research at sa gitna ng pandemic, nakita ko na tumaas pa yung population. No? Tumaas pa yung population ngayong taon ng school na to. Right? So, naisasalba ng research ang maraming bagay. Nakapagsasalba ng buhay, no? Nakapagsasalba ng mga organization, nakakapagsalba ng relasyon, no? Sabi nila parang hindi naman, sir, no? Believe me, maraming pwedeng maisalba ang research. Okay? So, gusto kong i-conclude tong short message ko sa tatlong bagay na kung saan ang nasa gitna ay ang research. First, education. You cannot graduate, no, nang hindi nagre-research, nang hindi marunong mag-research. No, napakalaking bagay ang naiko-contribute ng research sa academic aspect ng tao. No, in order for you to get promoted also sa iyong profession, isa sa titignan nila yung research, yung publication, no? Isa sa criteria. Just to also share, bago ako na-promote bilang school principal, no? Isa sa tinitignan nilang qualification. Of course, tinitignan yung profile, ine-evaluate. Isa sa tinitignan nila ay yung publication. Isa sa tinitignan nila kung tong tao ba na to marunong, may alam sa research. Kasi maghahawak ka ng isang eskwelahan. No, in fact, ngayon, 2 eskwelahan. I'm also handling 15 dioceses or Catholic schools as a consultant, no? Na of course I have to carefully study kung yung bawat eskwelahan na yon, kung paano ko sila matutulungan. So, napakalaking bagay ang nagawa ng research sa career ko, kaya ako na-promote, no? Doon sa mga global recognitions na ibigay sa akin, isa sa criteria is research. No, isa sa criteria is research. Na kung titignan ko, research is everything. Sa education, sa career, at lalo sa buhay na meron tayo. So I just hope, dear students, no, that whenever you are asked by your professors to conduct research, to do a particular paper, no, hindi natin siya dadayain, no? If it's a group project, if it's a group paper na hindi lang yung isa yung gagawa, kundi lahat involved, no? Because you may have passed the thesis subject or the research subject nang walang natutunan, pero pagdating mo sa trabaho, sisingilin ka nun, especially kung gusto mong ma-promote. So I just hope that you'll always remember that research is live, no? That it will help you na mas maging productive sa buhay, sa career, sa pag-aaral. No? So please allow me to leave this message to all. No? Research allows you to do more. Be more with research. So sana wag nating kalimutan na kung gusto natin mas malayo pa yung marating natin, if we want to be global, no, if we want to be global, let's do it with research, no. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you also for the invitation, languages department. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that very informative and very inspiring presentation, Dr. Dizon. We sure learned a lot, and it's not every day that we get someone who enchants other people and other students into research rather than scaring students off from it. Because oftentimes you always get we often get speakers that would often scare off other people and students when it comes to research talaga because of the heavy workload or the amount of time that we really have to give to research, right? Okay, so thank you very much for that, Sir Archie Dizon. Maraming salamat po. Okay, now next we have our very own faculty member. He is a full-time instructor at Adamson University, and he is a graduate of Bachelor in Secondary Education, major in Speech and Theater Arts from the Philippine Normal University. He is also a graduate of Master of Arts in English Language Education from De La Salle University. Let us all give a warm round of virtual applause to Mr. Jere Navarrete.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So just like what Dr. Archie mentioned, I would like to take this opportunity and use this platform to thank the department for choosing me as one of the speakers that could share the knowledge to our students, to our future researchers. And I really am hoping that the things that I'm going to share for today would help our students develop their research properly or well or with excellence, as I'll be discussing something that is out of the convention or that is not very traditional. So this has something to do with the ability of our novice writers or future researchers to use the informality features in research writing or in research articles. So please allow me to share my screen to you all. So just like what I mentioned, the topic is the informality features in the results and discussion section of research articles written by novice and expert writers. So if you're one of my students, I do believe that you're already familiar with the term informality features, as I really am trying to reiterate this term to all of my students to actually know the different purpose of informality features so they get to utilize them or they get to put them in their researches. Because even according to our experts or even according to the researches published way back before or maybe 20, 30 years ago, they already have the informality features. But the thing is, it is not part of the study, or there is a scant studies that would actually target this feature and their presence in academic writing. Because I'm pretty sure as well that you have encountered a teacher, a professor, or maybe an instructor or a mentor that would always tell you that if you are in academic writing, it's best if you will be 100% formal with this. You should not avoid the informality features because publishers will not accept your paper. They will not publish it if they have noticed that your words are a little bit informal. Well, first and foremost, I would like to debunk that idea, given the fact that we do have lots of articles already published by the experts with informality features. Then therefore, I would like to enlighten everybody's mind that informality features are supposed to be included as one of the features available or present into your research writing. And it should not be considered as unconventional or as a mistake. So without further ado, let me introduce my topic by the background of Minay and Sabe 2017, in which they mentioned that there are pedagogical implications that may derive that will help the research experts understand the evolving writing stylistics of the novice academic writers. Well, as an expert, we have to be open-minded with the differences of the writing stylistics of our students or of our future writers. So we really need to make sure that we are not closing our expectations to what we know, because language is evolving. Then therefore, the way how it is supposed to be transposed into writing is also evolving. Then therefore, we should not limit our students to we should not limit our the different generations to explore more into writing stylistics, just because we are only familiar with the traditional way of perceiving grammar, or just because we are very prescriptivist when we are talking about grammar. So what am I talking about? What are these informality features? So I would like to present to you the 10 informality features listed by Chang and Swales, and that is strengthened by Highland and Zhang 2017. So first and foremost, first person pronouns to refer to the author, I and we. So I'm pretty sure some of the professors, or you have encountered professors that would always tell you, do not use I or we when you're writing research. But in the studies, it shows that there are already published articles accepted by reputable journals in which they accepted the word I and we in the research. So why are we limiting our students? Why are you limiting yourself? Second one is an attended anaphoric pronoun. These are the demonstrative pronouns that are a little bit vague because you started the sentence with a demonstrative pronoun followed by a linking verb, not a noun. So they say this is informal because after demonstrative pronoun in research writing, it should be followed by a noun. But in this example, this is his raw material. This as a demonstrative pronoun is followed by a linking verb. So they say it's informal. They say it's wrong, but no. And we will talk about why it's not considered to be a mistake or wrong. Third, split infinitives. So an infinitive that has an adverb between to and the verb stem. So for example, the president proceeded to sharply admonish the reporters. So meaning to say, if you are going to make this, or if you're very conventional with your writing, you're supposed to write to admonish sharply. You're not gonna split the infinitives, meaning to say to sharply admonish is an example of split infinitives. We also have the sentence initial conjunction or conjunctive adverbs, and I will blame her if she fails in these ways. We also have a sentence final preposition, in which in this example, you can see the word about is a preposition that can be found at the end of the sentence, as well as listing expressions and so on, etc. and so forth. Second person pronouns or determiners to refer to the reader, you, your. They also say that it's informal if you use contraction, if you do have direct question, and as well as explanation. So I gave you already the 10 different informality features listed by our reputable sources, Hallan and Zhang and Chang and Swales. Now, Highland and Zhang 2017 said or claimed that informality can be included in academic writing as a system to persuade the reader. So meaning to say, Highland and Zhang reiterated that there is a purpose why informality features are there in academic writing in the first place. Meaning to say, there is, the writer can actually help them express themselves and help persuade the readers if they do have these informality features, and we cannot invalidate that given the fact that we do have our different writing styles. Next, the concept of informality was not the opposite formal convention of writing. So this is actually the emerging problem nowadays. If we always consider that informality feature is the opposite of the formal, informality feature is the opposite of the correct, then we can never open ourselves into the possibility that informality feature can actually coexist with the formality feature. And in the first place, informality feature, if we are going to know their functions properly, if we're going to know their communicative functions, if we're going to know which particular move can we actually input the informality feature, then I don't think there will be a problem with the grammar or with the thought of the sentence itself. And later on, I'll show to you how they are actually appearing in the research writing of both our experts and novice writers. Gustillo et al. 2018 mentioned that the presence of informality feature in academic writing may be resulted based on the style of the writers to emphasize a thought and a specific move. So this is what I'm actually mentioning earlier. If we are familiar with the different move strategies that we can use in order for us to develop a paragraph, then therefore maybe you will be familiarizing yourself as well with the different way of putting these informality features in different moves. But by the way, there are actually different moves. It depends on the proponent or the researcher who would you love to use into research writing. But yeah, technically, in each move, there is a proper way of inputting the informality features, which I'm going to show you later on. Ibes and Shezad 2017 said that informality features should not be regarded as unconventionalities, meaning to say they are not wrong. We are not supposed to treat them wrong from the formality of an academic paper. Instead, it should be viewed as like a style that helps the writer and readers to deal with the text. Given the fact, just like what I mentioned earlier, each generation, they do have their different styles. And we should not invalidate their styles in the first place. Because imagine if you are trying to invalidate your style, your own style of writing, how come you will be confident enough in writing your research, right? Because we are encouraging our students to write research, pero we are also limiting them into this, into what we are expecting, into the standard. But instead of setting a standard rule for our novice writers, then why not try to let them express what they really wanted to, write, what they really wanted to express during the interpretation of the data they have gathered in the results and discussion. So why am I discussing this? So maybe some of you are asking, why is Sir Jerry discussing this? Is she encouraging us to be informal with our research writing? Actually, no. You're missing the point if you were treating it that way, because the reason why I'm discussing this is that it should be normalized. Because here in the Philippines, to be honest, since this is actually my line of research interest, informality feature and move analysis, I have discovered very few articles that discuss the the informality features in the academic writing, and this alone can actually be a reason why we are so ignorant with the presence of informality feature, because it's not being part of the study. It's not actually saving the fact that there is a possibility that this could be used in academic writing. Investigations comparing both published and unpublished research articles alone are lacking, and that is why I actually focus in this research. So I tried to collect some articles that are written by our novice writers, or like you, like those who are starting into writing, and those who are actually experts in terms of writing, who have published so many articles already. And later on, surprisingly, I'll show you the results. So limited studies take the challenge of looking for the function of informality features through move analysis. So meaning to say, maybe there would be some studies that would look or that actually looked for the informality features, but they did not distinguish how they are actually functioning in academic writing. And that's going to be a problem, because if we're only looking for the numbers, for the hits, for the signal, for the sentences signal informality feature, then it's like we are only proving that, oh yes, it's evident in there. But the thing is, we need to know the function, how they are functioning, and how can they help writers to express themselves, and how could it help the experts understand the presence of these features in the writing. So for the research method, I have collated a corpus, a total of 60 results and discussion section of research articles. Again, we are comparing the novice or the beginners and the experts. So later on, we'll see the result. But for the data analysis, the corpora were analyzed in actually two different stages. So the first stage is electronic analysis, of course, the use of AntConc, of course, for us to identify the informality feature hits in research articles. And the second stage is, of course, the human intervention analysis, in which there are different experts who tried to have an analysis in which particular informality feature appeared to be in move 1, move 2, move 3, up to move number 7. Now for the findings. Now here are the findings. Surprisingly, so first research question, what are the informality features across the moves of RA? Results in discussion section written by experts and novice writers. So here is the result. It suggests that since the unpublished corpus were authored by the second language graduate students, factors such as readership and purpose for which the paper set to achieve may have influenced the writer's tendency to utilize informality features. And of course, we cannot deny the fact naman that some of our novice writers, if they are writing for a requirement, they may be afraid that their professor or their mentor or their teacher might fail them because of the presence of informality feature. And we acknowledge the fact that that feeling could affect the presence of informality feature in the novice's paper. IF number 2 the unattended reference appeared to be the most prevalent feature, actually, with 239 hits, or 63.40% of the total informality features observed. So the next prevalent is IF3 and IF5, sentence initial conjunction, and the listing expressions with 23.08% and 5.31% respectively. So this is actually a surprise. Expert writers employed a total of 416 informality features across the moves of results and discussion section of the expert writers. So as compared to the number of informality feature utilized by the novice o yung mga start or yung mga beginner into research writing, it is 4.92% higher than 47.54 of IF in the corpus of novice writer. So what does it say? What does it say? If experts are utilizing informality features and their articles are already published, then why would novice writers would be afraid in using these features? So are you getting my point? It's like they are doing it. So why am I prohibited in doing this so? Right? So meaning to say, if experts can do it, then of course novice writers should do it as well, because that's emerging. That is the changes. That is like the trend on how styles are changing when you are writing a research. So the frequently detected IF were observed in different moves of the corpora. So is there a statistical difference in the frequencies of informality feature across the moves of RA, results in discussion section written by novice and expert writers? Well, we have noticed that expert writers are using informality feature greater than the use or usage of the novice writers of the informality feature. But technically, there is no significant difference after log likelihood test was performed, because it's very close. So it is because the significance is equal to 0.958, which is greater than the confidence level of 0.05. So no significant difference, but it is also a message. It is also a statement that could actually be cleared into writing that experts users are also using informality feature. And they're actually treating informality feature as part or as a feature that could help them express what they wanted to say in their interpretation of findings. So what are the communicative functions of the informality feature in realization of the different moves of RA results and discussion section written by novice and expert writers? So this time we're going to identify their communicative functions. So in which particular move did they signal or did they appear? IF1, first personal pronoun, shows the highest frequency in both results and discussion written by novice and experts. In move 1, when we're talking about the move 1, that's the background information where it announces the work, it announces the study, it announces the research gap. Also, first person pronouns were also observed in move 6 when the writers conclude their finding. So meaning to say, IF1 or informality feature number 1, which is first personal pronoun, would be helpful for writer to express their background information to express their background information towards their research, as well as into making their conclusion. So meaning to say, in moves such this, IF1 is possible to be found. IF2, unattended reference, were frequently utilized under move 5, 2, 3. So ano yung move 5, 2, and 3? Ito yung explanation and example. So when you are trying to explain something or maybe give example, then unattended pronoun or unattended references could be present in there, as well as the statement of results. So when you're stating result, statement of findings from primary research, because you may want to compare, support, or debunk the findings from the previous research that you have put into your literature review. So there is no problem if you use unattended references in there. We also have the initial conjunction as IF number 3, specifically, however. The word however were observed functional under explanation and example, while thus incurred more occurrences under M6, which is generalization and limitation, as compared to the other moves. Actually, this however and thus, they are very rampant into research writing, because it's like this the word that would signal the interpretation or the analysis of the researcher after presenting the data or the tabular data in tabular form, right? Or maybe the explanation gathered from different resources. Next, listing expression, IF5, were observably more frequent in move number 5, specifically giving examples. Of course, listing expression, so on, etc. If we're providing example, that is possible to use. Okay, so do not be afraid to use them Because, for example, someone would question you, hey, your writing is a little bit informal. You can actually say that, according to Chang and Swales in Highland and Jang in 2017, it's fine for as long as we properly utilize them in particular move. So at least you get the card with you to use when someone would question your informality features in academic writing, right? So for the conclusion, since I was just given 10 minutes, I made it actually very short. So IFs were used to describe their communicative function, which the features a vast presence in a move serve its purpose in academic writing. Therefore, Filipino novice and expert writers considered informality feature not as the opposite of formality, which regarded as unconventionalities, but viewed as a contemporary style of dealing with text. So again, let me use this platform to call on to our professors into research writing to be more open-minded with regards to the use of informality feature so that the students will not be afraid of using these feature in their academic writing, especially if it's part of their style, it's part of their function, and it's part of the way how they persuade their reader. And for the students, what I would love to tell you is that I am challenging you to include informality feature and defend it if someone would question your academic paper because of its presence. Always remember, your card is Chang and Swales and Highland and Jang 2017. And you can also note Gustilo et al., which I am a co-authored. We published an article related to how informality features should function in different stylistics of writing. So I am 100% sure that you cannot grasp this 100%, but at least you are aware that you have us professors who would be more open-minded with the presence of informality feature, and this is part of the way how we encourage you to write more into research writing, because nowadays we are limitless. So we are not very traditional to our grammar. We are not very prescriptivist, but we do perceive grammar as descriptivist, in which we are giving premium to the function, to the communicative function, and to the way how they are presented, and to the way how readers can understand what you are saying or what you are writing in your research or in your academic paper. Thank you so much for listening. If you do have any other question, you can actually message me or email me through jerry.emmanuel.navarrete@adamson.edu.ph so that we could have a fruitful discussion of what informality features are and how can they even function even better. Thank you so much. Adios.
Thank you very much, Sir Jere. So thank you very much for those encouraging words. Informal registrar has always been a pressing issue in the English and language research. So this will surely allow the other academics that we have to comfortably write in their own style. Okay, so to further show our appreciation to our dear speakers, we would like to award them with certificates. So let me just share my screen. Oh, sige. Did you see Miss Patty? So we will be awarding them with certificates to further show our appreciation to our dear speakers. So to award this certificate to Dr. Archie Dizon for sharing his expertise in From Vision to Transition, Demystifying the Culture of Research, the culminating activity for technical English in Adams University this Tuesday, December 7th in the year of our Lord, 2021. Thank you so much for your presence and wisdom, Dr. Dizon. Of course, we will not forget, we would like to award this certificate as well to Mr. Jared Navarrete for sharing his expertise in From Vision to Transition, Demystifying the Culture of Research, culminating activity for technical English in Adams University this Tuesday, December 7th in the year of our Lord, 2021. Thank you so much, our dear speakers. Let us all give them a warm round of virtual applause.
Thank you, sir. Can we ask for a photo op?
Photo op.
Yeah, for Mr. Thank you. And also Dr. Casella and Sir Dr. Dapat. Let's have a photo op for documentation. Okay. 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Where's Dr. Dapat? Ayun. Okay po. And if Dean, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Ms. Patty. So our next segment, we will be moving on now to the second portion of our event. This will help showcase the potential researchers in our university. This research forum will feature different researches of our dear Adamsonians. To help us tap the potential of these studies, our panel of judges will provide constructive feedback to further improve the papers. So our first judge, of course, is currently the high school principal of Colegio Santo Domingo, the chairperson for academic affairs, Golden Sunbeams Christian School, a writer, a seminar director, and private schools accreditation consultant. He has served as a lecturer and paper presenter in various local and international conferences. Let us welcome once again Dr. Archie M. Dison. Okay, so he is still one of our panel of judges. We are very familiar with Dr. Dison, and we are graced with his expertise once again. So our second judge finished her master's degree in teaching English language arts at the Philippine Normal University, Manila, Philippines. Now she is taking PhD in English language and literature at the La Consolacion University, Philippines. She is a licensed professional teacher and a professorial lecturer at the Far Eastern University in Manila, Philippines. She has published researches on social linguistics and language education, recently in the TESOL and Technology Studies and other international journals. She is the editor of the college textbook entitled Essence and Essentials of Purposive Communication in the 21st Century. So I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with that. And she is also the co-author of the senior high school textbook entitled Oral Communication in Focus 2016. She was a camp leader of massive open online courses, or the MOOC, sponsored by the U.S. Department of State English Language. She is the current Bulacan Provincial Coordinator of the International English Language Teachers Association, or the IELTA, Philippines, and a Distinguished Alumni Awardee in 2015, recognized by District 6, Quezon City. Let us all give a warm round of virtual applause to Ms. Bethany Marie C. Lumabi, MAT. Okay, so now, for the criteria of judging for our for the research to be presented, we have 20% for relevance, 20% for reliability, 20% for result-oriented, 20% for respect, and 20% for the required IMRAD format. This will be a grand total of 100%. So because of time constraints, we have presenters that will provide an AVP, and other groups have chosen to present their research live. So our research presentation will actually be the final four. Okay, so very good to the students. So first up, we have the first group presenter, the study of the customer satisfaction of third-year accountancy students of Adamson University towards e-commerce platforms, focuses on Shopee and Lazada.
Burmasta. Burmasta. I'm back. Shopping. Shopping. Beep, 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 beep. 99 super shopping day. Free shopping. Lazada's biggest one-day sale. Lahat ng gusto mo. All you want. Lazada has free shipping for you.
In 1979, English inventor Michael Aldrich introduced and pioneered what would eventually become known as e-commerce. E-commerce requires digital goods for carrying out transactions and is rapidly transforming the way enterprises are interacting within the industry. According to the Statista Research Department, the e-commerce market in the Philippines has seen a gradual growth in recent years, resulting in an increase of e-commerce expenditure in the country. According to Parcel Pending, college students, a mix of Gen Z and millennials, are digitally connected. shopping online via their mobile devices, therefore making e-commerce play a major role in influencing the shopping behaviors of college students, thus choosing third-year accountancy students as the most accessible to be surveyed. The survey was done by a self-made questionnaire using the Likert scale format, which consists of 10 situations where the respondents assess whether they agree, strongly agree, disagree, strongly disagree, or neutral, and was composed through the use of Google Forms. The following questions were then formulated. As third-year accounting students, how does purchasing on Lazada and Shopee influence their purchase perception? Do they prefer to shop on Lazada and Shopee or visit a physical store? Are the customers satisfied with the advantages they get from shopping on Lazada and Shopee? Answering the question, how does purchasing on Lazada and Shopee influence their purchase perception? The result indicated that using Shopee and Lazada are frequently used by the respondents for convenience, and that they are satisfied and are influenced to shop online, not only for convenience, but also for affordability. Answering the question, do they prefer to shop on Lazada and Shopee or visit a physical store? The results showed that the majority of the respondents prefer to shop online, not only for their own safety as customers, but also for the convenience of the process. However, there are still downsides to be aware of. As a result, some still choose to go to a physical store to directly purchase what they need. Answering the question, are the customers satisfied with the advantages they get from shopping on Lazada and Shopee? The results showed that the respondents are satisfied with the services of Shopee and Lazada, since they have positive feedback. Thus, this will help Lazada and Shopee to encourage consumers to engage in online shopping frequently, strengthening their brand image and retaining customer loyalty. In conclusion, e-commerce platforms are able to influence the purchase perception of the customers, therefore concluding that third-year accountancy students of Adamson University preferred purchasing on e-commerce platforms because they are satisfied by the shopping means and the ease of buying products online. However, there are some who still prefer to visit physical stores. The way of shopping has been revolutionized with the help of e-commerce. There are differences in the satisfaction level due to some factors such as quality of products and delay in delivery. But despite that, e-commerce is still having a phenomenal growth as customers realize the convenience of online shopping.
Edit cut now.
Shop now!
Okay, now that we are able to see the group 1 presenters for that, we will proceed with the second group. So the second group has the utilization of multifunctional seaweed packaging, its possibility and benefits as a substitute for plastic containers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our research paper is entitled Utilization of Multifunctional Seaweed Packaging, Its Possibility and Benefits as a Substitute for Plastic Containers. To start with the introduction. Plastic packaging is extensively consumed in medical products, healthcare, beverages, and packaged foods. Plastics are extremely harmful. When plastic items are burned, it pollutes the environment. Seaweed packaging can protect the life of marine creatures, reduce garbage, and improve air quality. Seaweed packaging as a solution can contribute to the rising case of plastic pollution. For the background of the study, having plastic-free Earth is simply a dream. as seaweed is becoming a hero in packaging. Why seaweed and its life cycle? Because it is edible and can serve as a fertilizer. For the statement of the problem, the study seeks answers to the following questions. What are the internal and external problems associated with the use of plastics? How does plastic containers affect the environment in terms of its disposal? What are the following benefits that seaweed packaging can contribute? For the objectives of the study, eliminate the usage of single-use plastics, provide a natural way for product packaging to decompose, innovate the current state of packaging industry, propose an eco-friendly packaging material, and improve their livelihood by giving additional income to the fishers. For the significance of the study, it will be beneficial, relevant, and useful for the following shown in your screens. For scope and limitations, this study focuses on reducing plastic usage by replacing seaweed packaging and its benefits to the consumers. And for the definition of terms, the following are defined conceptually and operationally. To discuss the methodology, here is Mr. Pangilinan.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. So for the methodology, the researchers used a descriptive survey questionnaire to determine if the group of two respondents are in favor of replacing plastic container and to know the benefit that they can get from the multifunctional seaweed packaging. Thus, the researchers used quantitative approach as a research design. In addition, for the sampling method, purposive sampling was used as it is the most applicable sampling for the study. The population is the NCR region, and the sampling begins with a group of two respondents selected from ages 18 to 50 years old residing in Las Piñas and Taguig City. A total of 50 respondents were asked to answer the survey for the reliability of the study, as they are the typical users of plastic and are knowledgeable of its damaging effects as well as for single-usage product. Furthermore, for the data collection, the researchers used Google Form for the survey and was sent by a messenger to the respondent. It was approved to be administered by the research instructor. The data gathered were classified and collated by the researcher with the use of percentage, frequency count, simple ranking, and descriptive statistics. Lastly, for the instrumentation, a researcher made a survey questionnaire using Likert scale, and Google Forms was used to elicit information from the respondent. The said questionnaire was validated and checked by the research teacher to ensure the validity and reliability of the result and findings. That is all for the methodology, and now to discuss the result, let's hear it from Ms. Punan.
Thank you, Mr. Pangilinan, for the results. Internal problems with the use of plastic containers in the household. Both cities agreed that they are aware of the alarming impact to organisms when plastics are ingested and can impact the immune system, which got 78% of the votes. Now the external problems. For both cities, respondents are knowledgeable that plastics take years to decompose with a total of 96% of the votes. Next, how do plastic containers affect the environment in terms of their disposal? In both cities, 98% are aware that burning plastics releases climate-wrecking gases and toxic air pollution which affects the environment in terms of plastic container disposal. Lastly, what are the following benefits that seaweed packaging can contribute as an alternative for plastic containers? In both cities, 90% agree that seaweed packaging is eco-friendly, natural, and biodegradable. Now for the discussions, here is Ms. Painitan.
Thank you, Ms. Punan. Since the respondents from Taguig and Las Piñas firmly agreed upon all the internal and external concerns connected with plastics, the researchers concluded that the usage of seaweed packaging could be a viable way to mitigate and avoid the issues plastics can cause. The researchers highly advocate the advantages of seaweed packaging as a viable alternative to plastic containers. This concludes our presentation. Thank you all for listening.
Okay, so we've had the second group. Now we will proceed with the third presenter, the genetically modified, substantially fortified, a research paper about the nutritional value, resistance, and agricultural benefits of genetically modified crops. Before we watch the video, I would like to get to know how I would like to know how the audience is doing. You may place in the chat how you're doing. If you're doing fine, you're learning a lot. Any opinions that you have with the researches that you have listened to, and of course, any opinions that you have towards the speakers a while ago, anything that you would like to share, you feel free to place it in the chat. Miss Patty, please.
Good afternoon. I am Alvin Song from Technical English Section 0113 under Miss J. Tubalias, and I will be your presenter for our research titled Genetically Modified, Substantially Fortified, a research paper about the nutritional value, resistance, and agricultural benefits of genetically modified crops. With this slide, I present to you my team and start. So, is anyone here familiar what is GMO? None? Okay. So GMO stands for genetically modified organism. It is a living organism whose DNA has been altered via the use of genetic engineering techniques. Humans have been using breeding strategies to modify creatures for thousands of years. So an example that you can see on the PowerPoint slide is the golden rice. So the DNA of it has been altered to contain vitamin A content on the rice. So imagine, since we are Filipinos, we love eating rice, and imagine not eating a lot of squash or carrots for it just to get our vitamin A content in the daily basis. So that is actually the purpose of it. We have to alter the DNA requirements or DNA sequencing of an organic crops for us to get more benefits out of it. So aside from that, it's not just inserting of vitamins that we can expect from genetically modified organism. We can actually insert also bacterial resistance, resistance to pests, as well as other desirable qualities that we can have for us to make a better crop. All right. So if that is actually the benefits that we can see, or it's a known fact that we are able to know about genetically modified organism, what seems to be the problem? Because on this particular one, the golden rice that I've seen on the news, I think it's in Philippine Star, it seems like it's just approved a couple of months back. So if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 1 month ago. And this is actually quite alarming because GMO production, studies of it has been conducted since 1979. And it seems like the production of it, the consumption, as well as the use of it, it really takes time. So what seems to be the problem? This will and agricultural benefits of genetically modified crops. So we sought to answer the following questions. What are the benefits that we can get in genetically modified crops, and why are GM crops produced? What are the advantages and disadvantages of genetically modified crops, and are they safe? How can we prove that genetically modified crops are nutritious and beneficial? And what further developments can be expected in GMOs? So indirectly, our group or our team wants to know if this particular GMO technology is really beneficial to us. Because if it is, then why it's not progressing? What can we do about it? And if it's not, then maybe we should start working with the non-GMO projects. So this particular significance of the study that we work on could actually directly benefit the farmers, investors, and the consumers of GMO crops. So since has already been debated whether or not we are going to use GMO crops for a full-scale promotion in the country, we want to improve people's perception of GMO prior to deciding if you are going to go pro or con about this. So definitely for the farmers, it could reduce the cost of pesticide use and yield loss or crop damage from weeds, diseases, and insects, as well as from extreme weather conditions such as drought. So this is the same thing that I've discussed earlier, wherein it's not just like vitamins, you can alter the DNA of a crops have. So for the first row, Microsoft and Google applications, namely Excel, Word, Docs, and Sheets, to perfectly store the data that we've collected and interpret it. For the results and discussions, Okay, so here's the table to help us organize and interpret information that we are able to collect from reliable sources. So as you can see, it is a table with columns and rows. For the first row that you can see is actually the exact questions that you can see in our objectives as well to guide us in answering the questions. For the second row, it's actually the collected information wherein we are able to get from the credible sources. And for the last row, you can see the cited authors that guided or answered this particular question. So as you can see, for the disadvantage of genetically modified crops, column 2, and are they safe? We are able to find out that GMO crops could have risk of consuming, such as toxicity, antibiotic resistance, and allergic reactions to humans. So this is the same goal that the non-GMO folks are working on in debunking not to use the GMO crops. But unfortunately, we don't have enough resources that we are able to search for this particular one, and we've allotted a lot of time actually. So most of the researches that we have, like Abu Nijami, Artemis, and the government of Netherlands, are only focused on a conceptual basis. There is no experimental data that was conducted to prove the existence of toxicity, antibiotic resistance, and allergic reactions to humans. Right. So we recommend you to get a copy of our paper to read it for that is already summarized. So there's a lot of interesting facts that you can read also from of our country to improve our economic status by investing and promoting in this instead of importing foreign goods. If you're familiar with our GDP or gross domestic product. So with this technology, we should not always assume that this is all good. We have to acknowledge the risks that this could bring to us in the long run. That is why more research should be conducted in relation to studying the effects of GMO consumption. It will be better if we could have experimental studies that we can use in order to provide better solutions or approach. This happened with the disadvantage. If we could have data that we can work on, then maybe the manufacturers of GMO crops can provide better solutions. How we can make sure that the GM crops is safe instead of just saying it's no longer safe, right? So the government should always keep an open mind regarding with the advancement of this technology. Insert Miss consumption will help the public break its fear on using these crops. So promotion with the help of this agency will also strengthen the utilization of this technology and thus help our country thrive. So I hope you've learned something about our research. Let's
Okay, thank you so much for that on group three. Now we will move on with presenter number four, which has the study of effects of restricting public utility vehicles on pollution index in urban areas during the pandemic period. Group four, if you are ready, you may present and share your screen.
Good day, students and teachers. We are group Avengers from ME 201, and we come up with this study about the relationship of pandemic, public utility vehicle, and pollution that ended up with the research title Effects of Restricting Public Utility Vehicle on Pollution Index in the Urban Areas During the Pandemic Period. So, for the first part, we are going to discuss about the SO.
Statement of the problem. The study intends to determine the effects of restricting public utility vehicles on the pollution index in urban areas during the pandemic period. The following are the questions that the researchers wanted to answer. Number one, what are the factors considered for the restriction of public utility vehicles in urban areas during the pandemic period?
For the number two, what are the effects of restricting the public utility vehicles in urban areas during the pandemic period? 2.1 Air pollution. 2.2 Noise pollution. And for the number three, what is the possibility of allowing the public utility vehicles in urban areas again, but not resulting in pollution?
Research method. The engineering students use quantitative research as the method to collect data with the use of virtual surveying. In this case, the engineering students are able to gather family data that is essential in determining the effects of restricting public transportation in urban areas.
So from the table 1, Table 1 shows the factors considered for the restriction of public utility vehicles in urban areas during the pandemic period. The results from the survey shows that the respondents agree on the cases of COVID-19 is reduced by restricting public utility vehicles during the pandemic, with a mean of score of 2.63. Furthermore, the respondents strongly agree that promoting safety hazards within the public utility vehicles improves the urban quality of life during the pandemic, with a mean score of 3.57. Additionally, they agree on providing climate-friendly public utility vehicles, which are significant during the pandemic situation, with a mean of 3.33. Furthermore, the respondents also agree that it is a threat to health and safety not only for commuters, but also for drivers and public as a whole, with a mean of 3.27. Finally, they also agree on implementing impermeable barriers between rows of seats that are less than 1 meter apart to the public utility vehicles that are one of the safest protocols during the pandemic period, with a mean of 2.8. So total mean is 3.12.
For Table 2, it shows the effect of restricting public utility vehicles on air pollution index during the pandemic. With a total mean of 3.43, the 30 respondents strongly agree that public utility vehicles affect the air pollution index during pandemic in Metro Manila. The result shows the continuous production of air pollution brought by public utility vehicles can cause health problems, especially to the commuters. According to Christine Sabilio, 80% of today's air pollution comes from vehicles, and with that, we should take action about it since it can also affect the climate, making Metro Manila warmer. Furthermore, the respondents strongly agree with the idea of changing public utility vehicles to more environmental friendly vehicles to not result in air pollution nor affecting the daily life of commuters. For Table 3, it shows the effect of restricting public utility vehicles on noise pollution index during the pandemic. In the table shown, the 30 respondents strongly agree that public utility vehicles have a big part in producing noise pollution. Moreover, the respondents also strongly agree that we should take note and be aware of noise pollution as it can also cause short-term and long-term health problems. The respondents agree that with the restriction of public utility vehicles, the decrease of noise pollution in Metro Manila is evident. Furthermore, they disagree that the amount of noise pollution is the same before and after lockdown. In conclusion, noise pollution didn't increase that much after the ease of restriction for the reason that the traffic that caused noise pollution is still worse before lockdown.
So Table 4 illustrates the result based from the experience of the respondents in the possibility of allowing the public utility vehicle in urban areas, again but not resulting in pollution. On the first statement, the respondents agreed that allowing public utility vehicles increases the pollution during the pandemic period, resulting with a mean score of 3. But on the other hand, they disagreed that the increase of public utility vehicle doesn't contribute to air and noise pollution in urban areas, having a mean score of 2.03 and 2.13. Furthermore, the respondents also disagreed that being less strict on people going outside in urban areas contributes to the increase of needed public utility vehicles, with a mean score of 2.93. And lastly, they strongly agreed that the increase of public utility vehicle is directly proportional to the increase of the air and noise pollution in urban areas during the pandemic period, having an outcome mean score of 3.3, which means that as the numbers of public utility vehicles increases, the pollution index also increases. So for the total mean is 2.68, which means they agreed.
So for the conclusion, the study shows that the majority of respondents strongly agrees that the usage of PUVs is one of the major sources of air noise and in urban areas. The respondents agreed that the restrictions of PUVs, especially in pandemic, will reduce the impacts of pollution in the environment. However, they agree on lifting the restriction of PUVs as long as the commuters will follow the safety measures and use alternative resources for PUVs that will be safer for the environment. The study concludes that these restrictions of PUVs during the pandemic helps to reduce the pollution in urban areas. This is because it can lessen the carbon footprints that people emit. It also can be noted in the study that people are aware of the negative implications of PUVs in the environment, which is
As a result, the engineering student seeks to recommend the following. Number one, providing adequate and safe pedestrian and bicycle facilities to promote non-motorized options for short distance trips. Number two, raise awareness among policymakers and the general public on the extent and consequences of urban air pollution, as well as clarify and promote the role of public transportation. The last, implement a vehicle inspection program that can support in the enforcement of emission requirements for public utility vehicles.
I sincerely appreciate your attention this afternoon. And that brings us to the end. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention today. Thank you so much for your interest and attention.
Okay, those are all very interesting studies that can surely help the different communities and beneficiaries that it's targeted to. We will now proceed to the critiquing of the panels. Please be reminded that the critiques will be limited to 5 minutes for each group. We will now begin with group one. So you may have the floor, Dr. Dizon and Ms. Dumabi.
Okay, maybe I'll begin. Good afternoon. Let me start my video. It's not working. Anyway, let me start with the first presenter. Let me just open my, let me, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first presentation is about the, what is it again?
The study of customer satisfaction.
Yeah, the Shopee. Okay. There are many slides open here. Anyway, in terms of relevance, of course, their study is very much relevant to their course. Although there are, while I was going over the paper, I placed some of my notes there. I cannot find it anymore. But then again, what I just noticed, there's some parts of the paper that needs to be clarified, particularly some of the variables they have mentioned on their SOP, which lack relevant literature to prove the presence of those variables. And in terms of reliability, the instrument that they have used lacks validity. They were not able to state or describe how valid the instruments that they have come up with although I know it's a customized questionnaire, but then again, there must still be an area of validation there that could have been done, no? For reliability's sake. In terms of results, I find their findings relevant, but further discussion must be addressed. Okay. And in terms of respect, I failed to understand how they were able to get particular ethical considerations when they collected their data. So these are just some of the things that I just observed. And format, they have a lot of things to arranged in their format, so it could be for better improvement. That's it. And maybe we can have Doc Archie first for the first presenter, and then I'll be back again for the second. Would that be fine, or I have to go over all of them, sir?
One for each lang po. We go with
Okay.
ano na po, for Doc Archie's comment na po.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss. Doc Archie, if you may po, you may take the floor po. Maraming salamat. Okay, so a bit of a technical problem here. I was told by Mr. Dizon that he is having connectivity problems. So we will proceed with group number 2. If it's okay with Ms. Lumabi to provide a critique for group number 2.
Okay. Group number 2 is the, sorry, I have so
Utilization.
many. Yeah.
It's okay po, no problem. For group number 2, we have utilization of multifunctional seaweed packaging.
Okay, yeah, this is a very interesting title. However, I was somewhat confused with the title because the SOP focused more on plastic. It's not really the seaweed. So I find the title interesting, but I wasn't that excited while I was reading the paper, no. So maybe these are the areas that must be considered by our future researchers, particularly the novice ones. But the idea of the title is really promising. I find this really very attractive for researchers like me. But however, the variable of the seaweed was not really focused more on and investigated more on. So that's just what I noticed. But in terms of results, their quantitative method is okay, but the way they have computed or the statistics that they have used was not really explained well. Okay. Ayun pala. So I have to ask permission for the video. Anyway, I got I got distracted with the video. Okay. Can you see my video now?
Yes po.
Oh, all right. So as I was saying, yun lang, that is just what I found from the paper of the seaweed, no? I really didn't see much about the seaweed. It's more, the seaweed was mentioned more on the latter part, but the investigation is more on the plastic. Although the investigation of the plastic, of course, it's still significant, but it's quite predictable already. That is just my stand as a researcher as well. Yun lang po for group 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Ms. Lumabi. So I see that we still don't have Mr. Dizon back due to connectivity problems. Ms. Lumabi, will it be all right if we proceed with group 3?
All right. Please guide me here, sir. May I know the title of Group 3 again?
Genetically modified, substantially fortified, a research paper about the nutritional value, resistance, and
Yeah.
agricultural benefits of genetically modified crops,
Yes, this is
GMOs.
so. Yeah, sir. Sorry, I got so excited. Yes, sir. I really like this very local research, no? I go for this research. However, this is also one of the among the four, no? This method used in this research, I believe, is the most distinct because this is more on critical review of literature, no? So this is like CRL, but that is also the the weakness of the paper. Now, although that was acknowledged by the researchers earlier when they presented, but that should have been resolved, no? Although I know you have a column of the proponents of each variable that you have mentioned, but then again, I still find the literature quite weak to conclude on. Okay, but as a start, this type of title or this type of research is really promising. I hope you do not surrender this because you will help a lot of farmers with this title. Okay. Yun po. Thank you.
Thank you so much po, ma'am. Thank you very much. So we will now begin then for the critique of Group 4, the effects of restricting public utility vehicles on pollution index in urban areas during the pandemic period. So Miss Bethany, kayo na lang po muna ulit ang mag-take ng floor. Thank you very much.
Okay po. Ano po ba ang title ulit nun? Yeah, this is now the effects. Okay. Ito in terms of relevance, I believe the engineering, may I know their courses, or I just heard they are engineering students, but in particular, what course?
I believe Dr. Casella can answer that since I know that I think these are students of Dr. Casella. So Dr. Casella, may we know what their programs are in the College of Engineering?
I don't want to be associated with the thing, but I think I can call on the representative. Ali, can you tell Miss Lumabi what's your course, Ali?
Mechanical engineering po, ma'am.
Okay.
Mechanical. Okay, sige. So, relatively, okay naman ang connection ng inyong research, no? Very much related because, okay, although I know very little about mechanical engineering, but I believe it's somewhat connected. But then again, in terms of reliability, I didn't find how you validated your questionnaire. Would you like to answer that? Or wag na lang. Sige, anyway, in terms of result, no, I commend your discussion of results because you particularly explained the mean, no? Although I know the other groups also did statistics, but it's very important in research that you have to really distinguish what's the mean, what's the standard deviation, and all these things. So these are technicalities, but these are also the credible words in research. And I commend Group 4 for also using this data as they explain their results. No? So congratulations for Group 4. No? And for respect, yun then I failed to get how they involve ethical considerations in their research. But in terms of format, they also follow the format, but some tuning on the correct bibliography, no, and the format of references. But as a whole, it's a very remarkable paper. Thank you.
Thank you so much po. Thank you very much, Miss Bethany Lumabi. So, everyone, while we are computing the scores to ease our minds and our souls, we have Mr. Brian Bobadilla to serenade us. Let us all give him a warm round of virtual applause using the applause icon.
Hello po. Can you hear it? Can you hear me properly, guys? Okay
Oh,
naman. Okay ba? Sige, mananakit po tayo today. So if you guys know all too well, you can sing with me kahit nakamute kayo, okay? Alright. One, two, three. I walked through the door with you. The air was cold, but something about it felt like home somehow. And I left my scar there at your sister's house, and you still got it in your drawer now. Oh, your sweet disposition and my wide-eyed gaze. We're singing in the car, getting lost upstate. Autumn leaves falling down like pieces into place, and I can picture it after all these days. And I know it's long gone, and the magic's not here anymore. And I might be okay, but I'm not fine at all. Oh. 'Cause there we are again on that little town street. You almost ran the red 'cause you were looking over me. Wind in my hair, I was there, I remember it all too well. Photo album on the counter and your cheeks were turning red. You used to be a little kid with glasses in the twin size bed. Your mother's telling stories about you on the T-ball team. You told me about your past, thinking your future was me. And you were tossing me the car keys. Damn the patriarchy, keychain on the ground. We were always skipping town. And I was thinking on the drive down, anytime now, he's gonna say it's love. You never call it what it was. Till we were dead and gone and buried. Check the pulse and come back swearing it's the same. After 3 months in the grave. And then you wondered where it went you as I reached for you, and all I felt was shame. And you held my lifeless frame. And I know it's long gone and there's nothing else I can do. And I forget about you long enough to forget what I needed to. Ooh. 'Cause there we are again in the middle of the night. We dance around the kitchen in the refrigerator light. Down the stairs, I was there, I remember it all too well. And there we are again when nobody had to know. You kept me like a secret, but I kept you like a note. Sacred prayer, and we'd swear to remember it all too well. Yeah, and maybe we got lost in translation. Maybe I asked for too much, but baby, this thing was a masterpiece. Till you tore it all up, running scared. I was there, I remember it all too well. Time won't fly, it's like I'm paralyzed by it. I'd like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. After plaid shirt lace nights when you made me your own. Now you mail back my things and I walk home alone. But you keep my old scarf from that very first week. Cause it reminds you of innocence and it smells like me. You can get rid of it, cause you remember it all too well. Cause there we are again, and I loved you so. Back before you lost the one thing you've ever really known. It was there, I was there, I remember it all too well. Wind in my hair, I was there, you remember it all. Down the stairs, you were there, you remember it all. It was rare, I was there, I remember it all too well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much for that, Sir Bry. So it seems like you really have a lot of fans here, sir, especially sa chat. You're very popular.
Thank you po.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you very much for serenading us. Ano pong masasabi niyo sa mga students na big fan mo ngayon, sir?
Ay, sobrang hello sa inyo. Tsaka, pasin niyo yung mga requirements niyo, ha? Yun lang po.
Thank you now, and reminder to pass your requirements, everyone. Okay, so while we wait for the award ceremony that we will have, maybe we can play the different videos that we had a while ago again during the introduction. Miss Patty, if you may. Okay, of course, we would like to thank our judges as well for their participation. And we will be handing out the certificates later on. Thank you very much. So as we fix our technicalities here, please enjoy the video that we will be showing.
What is references? Referencing can be described as giving credit with citation to the source of information used in one's work. It includes a complete list of quoted and paraphrased works that the researcher actually used in completing the study. When do we need to reference? Referencing is needed whenever they refer to, paraphrase, summarize, or quote from another source. You should reference whenever you use someone else's idea to show where they originated from. There are several different styles of referencing: APA, MLA, Chicago, Oxford, Harvard, and IEEE.
Each of the styles has their own rules in properly citing sources. The styles differ in format. Some are author-date styles, and some are documentary note styles. The important factors you need to include while using referencing styles are the name of the author, date of publication, name and location of the publishing company, title of the journal or name of the book, title of the research or chapter's name, and the OI. Here are some basic rules and format for most sources on a reference. Due to various styles and systems of referencing by different departments, you should always check your course handbook to see which is their preferred style. In conclusion, references are important to trace the originality of the ideas. Readers would feel comfortable to identify the original work. It provides authenticity and helps to tackle plagiarism issues.
Okay, I think we can now proceed with our awarding ceremony. Now, to award, of course, our one of our judges, we've already given, of course, an award to Dr. Dizon a while ago, and we will be giving the same certificate to him, of course, but in a different manner because for the judging panel. And of course, we would like to thank Miss Bethany Marie Lumabi for sharing her expertise in this in our culminating activity, for sharing her expertise in the culminating activity from vision to transition, demystifying the culture of research for technical English in Adams University this Tuesday, December 7th, in the year of our Lord 2021. Okay, so we will be sending out the certificates later on. Thank you very much, Miss Lumabi, um, for your expertise. If you would like to say anything for the groups and everyone that is here, if you have a few
Yes.
words.
Apo. Good afternoon, everyone, again. Thank you for inviting me. I would like to congratulate the chair of the Languages Department, my very good friend, Dr. Jose Dapat, and his esteemed faculty, especially Dr. Melissa Casella, for this initiative to involve Adamsonians in research. Many have been said by the speakers earlier, so I will just make my message short and sweet because I'm excited to listen to the winners of our presentation for today. So this event is their presentation of hard work, investigations, and analysis. So again, it's my honor to be part of this research endeavor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bethany Lumami. That is very inspiring, and maraming salamat rin po for.
Okay, can we ask for a photo of Miss Bethany Lumabi before we proceed? And
Sure.
Dr. Dapat with Dr. Nelisa and with the faculty, and also Sir TJ and with Sir Archie. If okay.
Sir Archie hasn't returned to the Zoom yet. He totally lost the connection.
Okay.
But he communicated with us the results, okay, and I shared it with Ma'am Lumabi.
Okay po. So, other faculties, if okay, so for photo of 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's proceed.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much po again, Ms. Lumabi, and thank you also, Ms. Patty, for that photo op. Now we will be proceeding to the awarding of certificates for.
Sir Archie is there na daw.
Oh, Sir Archie, welcome back, sir. So let's
have
have
the photo
another.
op again.
Let's have a photo op again.
Please open po. Okay.
Doc Dapat. Sir Archie is back. Sorry, sir. We didn't notice. Sorry.
Faculty, if you're here po, then...
May defense pa kasi rito eh.
Oh.
So, let's take a picture po. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
I would also like to thank Sir Archie for being here with us as speaker and judge. Thank you so much for your time, Doc Archie. Thank you. Always.
Thank you so much po, Ms. Bethany and Doc Archie, for your gracious presence. Now we will be proceeding to the awarding of certificates to the group researchers. We will wait for Ms. Patty since she will be the one to tell us the results.
Okay. So, Sir DJ, can you please facilitate the... Yes, Sir TJ, can you please continue po?
Okay.
Wait lang po. Well, I'm preparing the...
Sure, no problem, Miss. So everyone, while we are reading, of course, you may sound off in the chat box your comments, your suggestions, and of course your enjoyment during this event. Now, we will be awarding the best research group, and this group is. So we wait for Miss Patty. While we are waiting again, please sound off in the chat box your comments, your enjoyment, everything that you've learned in the event, and we will read it out loud here. Parang shout out na. Okay, anytime we are ready. So drum roll please, for the awarding of certificates to the best research group. Okay, congratulations, Group 4. Group 4 with the study of the effects of restricting public utility vehicles on the pollution index in urban areas during the pandemic period. Congratulations for winning the best research in this culminating activity. Okay, congratulations.
Sir, can we ask a photo op with the winner?
Photo op with the winners, please. Turn on your cameras.
Congratulations, Team Avengers.
Congratulations, Group 4. Congratulations, Team Avengers.
Where are you guys? Ali and the rest of the team? Are you still there?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, can you turn on your cam so that we can have a photo op? Ay, wala yata sila mga picture. Nag-aayos pa sila. Okay. So do they look like they are Avengers? So we have the members of the team. Okay, I see Faith and Jenna. Who else? Inota, where's Inota? Nagtatago. Okay, I think we're ready, Sir TJ and Ma'am Patty, for the photo op.
Okay. Miss Patty, if you may please, turn on din po ng camera so we can join. If Sir JR is also still there, if okay lang po sir, join us in the photo op po. Miss Patty.
Wala yata si Patty.
I'm here po. One. Nagpipin pa po ako. Wait lang po. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Another one po. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank
Congrats,
you po,
Team Avengers. Congrats.
Congratulations, Team Avengers. Thank you po, Sir JR. So next, we will be announcing the best group presenter. Drum roll, please. Okay, so the best group presenter is also Group 4. Congratulations. So will we be having another photo op, Dr. Casella, with the same group?
Wow.
Hakot awardee. Congratulations, Group 4. Hakot awardee kayo.
Faith, who else are there? We still have another photo op.
This one naman is for a different award.
Where are you guys? I think, yan. So we have Ali, we have John Wilson, Estrero, Pelobello, Sultan, and Inota. Okay, so congratulations, guys. Are we ready, Ali? Andiyan na sila?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think, Miss Patty, we're good. We're ready. Faith, can you turn on your cam, Faith? Yes, and we have Inota and who else? Pelobello. Okay.
1, 2, 3. And another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay.
Okay, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much po. So to close the curtains of our intellectual event, we would like to thank our judges, Dr. Dizon and Ms. Lumabi, for their contribution. We would also like to thank Dean Lunag for being an inspiration to the researchers of Adamson University. And lastly, we would like to thank Dr. Dapat for his resilience in leading the languages department to the success of this event and other successes that's to come. So I would like to announce the closure of this event and leave everyone with a quote from Henry Rosovsky. Research is an expression of faith in the possibility of progress. The drive that leads scholars to a study topic has to include the belief that new things can be discovered, the newer can be better, and that greater depth of understanding is achievable. Goodbye, and thank you very much, everyone, for participating. God bless.
Sir, if students, can you please open also your camera for last photo
op for everyone here that attended.
I would like to thank the team, Sir TJ and Miss Patty for helping us out so that this. I'd like to thank Dr. Dapat, our chairperson, for this research forum assigned to us. And most of all, I would like to thank our team, Sir TJ, very resourceful, very imaginative, and resourceful, and so as with Miss Patty. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And Team Avengers, congratulations. You nailed it. Thank you. And to all the research entries, congratulations to Miss Faye Kadag, Mom Janet, and Mom Nicole. Thank you because you have really exhausted your time and effort for the team so that they can qualify. So congratulations to all the team. Thank you.
Okay, everyone please get ready. Okay, so we have 4 pages. So we have 4 pages. For the first page, 1, 2, 3, smile. I forgot to open my camera. So for the second page, 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3. And last one. 1, 2, 3, smile. How about the faculty? I guess wala sila dito. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Sir TJ.
Thank you so much po. Maraming salamat, students. Maraming salamat po, Miss Patty and Doc.
Sir Brian.
Grabe, ma.
Dapat, we're done. Can we just leave the meeting room, sir?